There was a samurai in 17th century Japan who woke up every single morning, before the sun rose, and performed one ritual. Not exercise, not meditation, not cold water. One ritual that took less than 2 minutes. And for the rest of his life, he never struggled with laziness again. His name was Yamamoto Tsunetomo, and in his secret journal, the Hagakure, he wrote down this ritual in a single sentence that most people read and completely misunderstand. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that ritual was, and how you can use it tonight to destroy the laziness that has been stealing your days. Let me ask you something honestly. How many times have you woken up, knowing exactly what you need to do, and still done nothing? You had the plan. You had the time. Maybe you even had the motivation the night before. But morning came, and something heavy sat on your chest, and the hours slipped away. Most people blame themselves for this. They say, "I'm lazy. I have no discipline. I'm just not built for this." But here is what the samurai understood, what modern neuroscience is only now beginning to confirm. Laziness is not a personality flaw. It is a signal that your brain has not been given a clear enough reason to move. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are simply using the wrong approach, fighting a mental battle with physical weapons. The samurai never fought laziness with willpower. They never told themselves to try harder or be more disciplined. They used something far more powerful. Something so simple it feels almost too small to work. And that is exactly why it works. Yamamoto Tsunetomo was not a general. He was not a famous warrior. He was a samurai who spent his life studying one question. How does a man master himself? His journal, the Hagakure, was written in secret. It was never meant to be published. It was a private record of the deepest truths he had discovered about the human mind and the warrior's path. In it, he wrote this: "The way of the samurai is found in death. Contemplating it daily, one lives as though already dead, and becomes free." Most people read this and think he is talking about dying. He is not. He is talking about no Meiso, the death meditation, a ritual where the samurai, every single morning, spent 2 minutes imagining that today was his last day alive. Not as a dark practice, not as fear, as a weapon against laziness. Because when you truly feel, in your body, in your chest, that this moment may be your only moment, the heaviness lifts, the fog clears. The question, "Should I start today?" becomes ridiculous. Of course you start. What else would you do with your last morning? So let me show you exactly how to use no Meiso in 3 precise steps that the samurai followed. The first step, Asa no Shizukiza, the morning stillness. Before you touch your phone, before you speak to anyone, before you even stand up from your bed, you lie still for exactly 2 minutes, and you ask yourself one question. If this were my last morning, what would I refuse to leave undone? Do not answer quickly. Let the question sit in your chest like a stone dropped in still water. Watch what rises. The samurai called this hara, the gut knowing, the deep intelligence that lives below thought. Modern psychology calls it the default mode network, the part of your brain that activates in silence and shows you what truly matters to you. Most people never hear this voice, because they drown it immediately with notifications, with news, with noise. The samurai began every day in this silence. And from that silence, the day's most important action became obvious. Not a list of 20 tasks. One action. The one that, left undone, would haunt you. The second step, Ichi no Ken, the single sword. The samurai carried 2 swords. But in his most important duels, Miyamoto Musashi, history's greatest swordsman, often fought with only one. Because he understood, divided attention is defeated attention. After your morning stillness, you write down, on paper, not a phone, one single sentence. One thing. Not 5. Not a schedule. 1. This is not laziness. This is Ichi no Ken, the discipline of the single blade. The understanding that the warrior who tries to defend every direction defends none of them. Your brain, when given one clear target, enters what modern science calls implementation intention, a state where the action becomes almost automatic. The research of Dr. Peter Gallwitzer at New York University shows that people who write down one specific intention are 2 to 3 times more likely to complete it than those who have vague goals. The samurai knew this not from research. They knew it from 10,000 mornings of practice. The third step, Fudo no Kokorogake, the unmovable commitment. Fudo is the Japanese god of immovable wisdom. He is always depicted surrounded by fire, not consumed by it. Steady within the chaos. The samurai's final morning step was this. They committed to their one action before they had the motivation to do it. This is the key that most people miss. We are trained to wait for motivation, to wait until we feel like starting, to wait for the right moment, the right energy, the right mood. The samurai considered this the deepest form of weakness. Motivation, they understood, comes after action, not before. The fire of Fudo is not the fire of excitement. It is the fire of a decision already made, a body already moving, a warrior who does not ask himself if he wants to train, because that question was answered the moment he woke up and remembered, this may be my last morning. So the ritual completes like this: 2 minutes of stillness, 1 sentence written, and then you move, without negotiation, without waiting, without giving your brain the opportunity to argue. The samurai called the gap between decision and action the ma no kaiken, the danger of the interval. Because in that gap doubt lives. Laziness lives. Every excuse ever invented lives in that 5-second window between I should start and I will start later. Close the gap. Move before doubt arrives. This is Fudo no Kokorogake. At the beginning of this video, I told you about Yamamoto Tsunetomo, a samurai who never struggled with laziness again. Now you know why. Every morning, he sat with the weight of his own mortality. He let the silence show him what mattered. He wrote his one unfinished thing, and he moved before doubt could speak.
Si no Meiso, asa no Shizukesa, Ichi no ken, Fudo no Kokorogake.
Death meditation, morning stillness, the single sword, the unmovable commitment. This is not a productivity hack. This is not a morning routine checklist. This is the hidden code of the samurai, a philosophy of life built on one truth. You do not know how many mornings you have left, so do not waste this one. If this path speaks to you, subscribe, because the next video will go even deeper into the samurai's secret methods for mastering the mind. The warrior's path has no end, but it has a beginning, and it begins now.